ますか？あ、そうか、こっちでいいんですか？これ形ですね。英語版なんでキーファーさんとかされる、トロイさんとか、
声は
リアルタイムなんでね、はい、これ聞こえてるんですよ。これは聞こえてる。こうですね、オセロットの凄さが分かるし、この砂嵐で目上げてるんですよ。さすがは山猫。お前山猫か。これはね、誰も分かってくれないんですよ。すごいやつ。
いや、砂嵐は。
ちょっとギャグはやめときます。字幕ついてない。
ですね。
字幕。ついてない。
On ice. Solo infiltration of the Soviet main ground forces should be the perfect warm-up.
Okay, normally there would be a tutorial here, but we'll go ahead and skip that today.
You can't have much left in him. I give him 3 days tops. If we fail, and he dies, we lose our chance of revenge. But we need more intel. If you just go charging into Doandehar, you'll be putting both your lives at risk. See what you can find out first. The Soviets have other outposts, not just the one you saw. Afghanistan is a big place. I expect you'll become quite familiar with those binoculars as you plan your next move. How and where you make it, well, that's up to you. From here on out, you're on your own. You're a legend in the eyes of those who live on the battlefield. That's why you have to handle this mission yourself. Put those 9 years behind you, and return as Big Boss. That's how Koss would want it. I'll be sending additional intel by radio. Stay sharp. Not one of Miller's bodyguards survived. And they were good. All we found on the scene were their corpses and knees. They'll be missing them. And you're his only hope of getting them back. Now go! Let the legend come back to life.
Alright, now we transition seamlessly from cutscene into gameplay. Everything you're seeing here today is on PlayStation 4, running at 1080p, 60 frames per second. As you heard during the cutscene, our mission here is to rescue Miller. That said, we have a limited amount of time today, so we're going to show you a special version of the mission, that was prepared just for E3. So let's go ahead and start off by opening up our iDroid, looking at our mission info. And you see here the area that we need to infiltrate. But you can't just charge right into enemy territory, so we'll go ahead and scout out the area first. So we'll set a marker here at a vantage point off site. And then we'll go ahead and head on in. And yes, this was very popular at E3. Your horse will do that. So let's go ahead and move on. So as everybody knows, Phantom Pain is an open world game. It's roughly 200 times the size of Ground Zeroes. And we're just going to show you a small glimpse of that today, so you can have a taste of what the gameplay is going to be like. It's a wide open landscape, a lot of places to explore, a lot of things to do. As you see up ahead, it's also populated by various types of wildlife. We have a herd of sheep up here on the road, And off to the right, we also have a human settlement as well. Alright, now you notice the background music has changed. It's gotten a little tense. That means there are enemies nearby, so let's go ahead and scout out the area. And sure enough, there's some enemies here, so we'll go ahead and mark them. And proceed forward. That said, if you're on a horse like this, you'll probably be spotted, so let's go ahead and use one of Snake's new abilities. You can actually hang off the side of your horse here and lower your profile. So we can get up close and make the shot. Right, so took out one guy, but his buddy did notice, so we'll use that to our advantage. See if we can sneak up behind him here. And hopefully pull him up. Well done. So now we have him held up, we can get some intel out of him. Let's go ahead and interrogate him.
Spit it out.
And he's telling us where we can find a container with raw materials, so we'll check that out in a minute. But first, let's get these guys out of the way. What you see on the screen right now is the Fulton recovery system. Players who play Peace Walker are of course familiar with this. These guys will be sent back to Mother Base via balloon, and we'll join your army. And now we see here, we also have a curious visitor. So maybe he wants to go back to Mother Base too. Let's go ahead and see if we can help him out with that. And he's down. So we'll go ahead and attach the Fulton. And away he goes. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the look at our map here. You can see the container that the guy was talking about. So we'll go ahead and check that out. It's not too far off course. Keep in mind the guys we Fultoned earlier will be going back to Mother Base, and you can assign them to various units within Mother Base to do tasks for you. And as for the sheep, well, I'm sure we can find some use for them. All right, so here's the container, and we see it is guarded. So we'll be careful as we make our approach here. Note that we did mark the enemy, so we can see him through obstacles such as this wall. That said, doesn't look like he's planning on moving, so let's go ahead and lure him out. The knock is back in Phantom Pain, but this time you can now perform it using your prosthetic arm, which means you can do this anywhere. You do not need to be next to a wall. That said, if you are next to a wall, you can do some pretty cool CQC, such as this upgraded move here. And peeking out from behind cover, shooting enemies is also faster and easier than it was in Ground Zeroes. So all this stuff has been streamlined for Phantom Pain. Alright, so we'll go ahead and move these guys out of the way, and now let's see if we can grab this container. So jump off here. You do have to be careful when you're Fultoning large objects like this, because if you're actually on the object when it goes up, you'll be brought back to Mother Base along with it, and you'll actually abort the mission. Now, that is an advanced technique that some people may want to use from time to time, but obviously for today's demonstration, we don't want to abort the mission, so we'll just keep on moving. You may have also noticed that there's a weather report that came in on our iDroid saying there's a sandstorm approaching. So if you look at the sky, you can see it's gotten a little gray, and we should see some sand start kicking up here soon. There we go. So here we have this sandstorm. Sandstorm is just one example of the dynamic weather in the Phantom Pain. The weather will change and evolve throughout the day, and is unpredictable. During a sandstorm, visibility is low, which means enemies can't see you, but you also have a hard time seeing where you're going, so you have to be careful as you traverse the terrain. So there are guys in hiding like this, so we'll go ahead and take them out. Now, we could Fulton this guy if we wanted to, but we won't, because it is in the middle of a sandstorm, and the Fulton is influenced by weather, so it's very possible that it'd be blown off course and the guy could die, so we don't want to do that. That said, visibility is low, but we've marked our destination earlier, so we can just keep on following the marker on screen here, make our way towards our destination. And the iDroid is now telling us that the weather is going to clear soon, and the soldiers we Fultoned earlier have made it back to Mother Base safely. But before we move on, you'll notice that there's something sparkling underneath this tree, so let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, so these are raw diamonds. Now, raw diamonds are just one example of the various raw materials you can gather from around the map, and these get sent back to Mother Base and add to your GMP. GMP being the currency in the Phantom Pain that you can use to upgrade your base, as well as develop new items and equipment. Alright, so we've made it to our vantage point now.
You have arrived at your destination.
And you see off in the distance we have the yellow marker that indicates our target. So somewhere in there we should be able to find some information regarding those whereabouts. So, let's go ahead and use our binoculars to scope the area out. See our target here. And there's some enemies, so we'll go ahead and mark them. As players who have played Ground Zeroes know, it's always good to mark enemies before you head into enemy territory. It'll give you an advantage as you sneak around the base. One more here. And so now we've gone ahead and marked all the enemies that we can see. That said, we don't know if there may be more lurking behind corners or inside of buildings. So in this kind of situation, you can actually call upon Mother Base for help, call upon our intel unit. So go ahead and open up our iDroid here. And what you see in the background right now is Mother Base. All the guys that we Fultoned are being sent back here. And if we take a look at our staff list, we'll see at the bottom we have 4 new guys here that have been added. So let's go ahead and assign one of these guys to our intel unit. You'll also notice that the UI is 3-dimensional. You can actually move it around like so by moving your controller. And we'll show you right here. There we go. And you can also close it by shaking the controller like that, which is pretty cool. Alright, so we now have the intel coming in, so let's take a look at our map. And you see these red areas marked on the screen. These indicate anticipated enemy locations. So we'll go ahead and mark these. And we'll take a look. Now you notice enemies are entering these areas. So your intel team has come through. Go ahead and mark them all. Okay, so we went ahead and marked all the enemies. You'll note that there are quite a few of them. The base is actually pretty well guarded at this time, so while we could try to sneak in, it'd be very difficult. And in this kind of situation, it might actually be a better idea to wait until they change shifts, because in Phantom Pain, enemies will change shifts depending on the time of day. And we could do that just by sitting here waiting for a very long time, but we're going to use an item that can help us out here. It's called the Phantom Cigar. Now the Phantom Cigar is an e-cigar that Snake can use to help pass the time, so go ahead and use that. Keep in mind that it is an e-cigar, so it produces no ash, no real smoke, no evidence of snakes ever being there. The smoke you see on the screen right now is actually a holographic smoke. Now if you look at the sky, you see the clouds are moving in real time. Sun and moon do move across the sky in real time as well. And we have realistic shadows being cast from the vegetation, all thanks to the power of the Fox engine. Now if we pan over to the right here, we can see enemies moving around, changing shifts depending on the time of day. And if we open up our iDroid, we see these blue triangles, which indicate enemies who are sleeping. So depending on the time of day, people may be off their shifts, taking a nap, and you can use that to your advantage as you plan your infiltration route. And keep in mind you can stop this at any time, but we'll just go ahead and stop it here. It is free, you can use it to battle as you want. Now here we are, we've gone ahead and marked everything up. Naturally, you probably would want to go in under the cover of darkness under normal circumstances, but we want to make sure you see what's going on during today's presentation. So we'll go in during the day, and to help us out, we'll go ahead and place some markers here. And these will act as waypoints as we sneak around through the base and make sure we don't get lost on our way to the destination. Alright, so we have an infiltration route set. That said, since we are going in broad daylight, it's going to be pretty tough. So once again, let's go ahead and call upon Mother Base for some help here. And in Mother Base, you actually have an R&D department that can develop new weapons and equipment. So today we're going to have them develop the ultimate in stealth technology. As any true Metal Gear fan knows, it is the cardboard box. So we'll go ahead and place that order.
Supply drop requested.
Choose location for the drop. And here comes the delivery. Oh, did it break? No, this is just the delivery box. The actual box is inside of there, and here it is. So now we have our special customized Diamond Dogs cardboard box. Let's head on in. Keep in mind the approach we're taking today is just one possibility. It's an open world game, meaning you can approach targets from any direction. This is just one possibility that we're showing you for today's demonstration. And now that we're in the open, let's go ahead and try out our new box. Now, players who have played Metal Gear before are obviously familiar with the cardboard box, but it has been upgraded for TPP, and we'll show you one of those new moves now. You can actually pop up out of the top of the box, take guys out, and quickly duck back in, all without having to unequip and re-equip the box. Likewise, you can now also use the Fulton from within the box. So we'll go ahead and send that guy off. And in the background, we have another guy here, so we'll sneak up on him. See if we can surprise him from behind. So we'll hold him up and send him on his way. And up ahead we see another guy who could be a problem. Now we could use our trank to take him out, but we'll try something different here. We actually have a supply unit support unit in Mother Base that can give us supply drops. So we'll go ahead and order one. Now supply drops are useful for ordering items and ammunition, but you can also use it in creative ways, and we'll show you an example of that today. So what we did was we called a supply drop right onto an enemy location, and let's see what happens. And there we go. So we got the guy knocked out, and we got some ammo in the process, so let's go ahead and pick that up.
You have arrived at your destination.
And move on. Right, we've reached our next marker now. That said, the way up ahead is guarded, so let's see if we can take a detour through this building here. Sneak around that guy. Alright, and it looks like we've stumbled upon a guy who's just coming off of his ship, so he's taking a nap. Because of that, we don't need to engage him. As long as we're quiet, he's not a threat to us, so we'll go ahead and sneak around here quietly. And carefully make our way to the door. Okay, some quick CQC to take care of that guy. And now that we're back in the open, let's go ahead and put on our box. Okay, and it looks like someone may have noticed our box moving. This is not good. He's obviously going to come and inspect this, so we should probably do something. And for Phantom Pain, you can actually do this. You can abandon the box at any time. And this is actually a very useful move because now the enemy will go to investigate the box while you are escaped, and it'll actually serve as a decoy as we sneak around the side of the building here. Now, previously we showed you how you can Fulton people as well as containers. You can also Fulton vehicles in the Phantom Pain. So let's go ahead and claim this car here from Mother Base. Oops. That said, you do need to be careful because there may be enemies lurking behind objects. So we'll take care of this guy and just survey the area to make sure the coast is clear. Oh, and we have another guy coming here. We should probably hide. Let's go in that dumpster. Now this dumpster is just one example of the various objects around the stage that you can use to hide in. And you also have upgraded CQC that you can use from within these objects to quickly take guys out and stash them away.
You have arrived at your destination.
Okay, so we've hit our next marker. Keep on moving. Alright, that yellow mark up there on the second floor of the building is our destination. So let's make our way there without being spotted.
You have arrived at your destination.
Let's go here. Let's keep an eye on him as we proceed. Oh, that said, looks like somebody to our right may have noticed us. Let's lay low here in the ditch for a while. Alright, nice headshot. And the coast looks clear, so we'll keep on moving.
You have arrived at your destination.
And we'll take the high road here, so we have a better vantage point as we proceed. Of course, marking the enemies as we go. All right, now we need to get up to the second floor of this building. So let's go ahead and make our entry here. And the soldiers, as well as the raw diamonds we picked up earlier, have now made it back to Mother Base, adding to our GMP. And the vehicle as well. Close call, but good use of reflex mode. We'll keep on moving. We need to get up to the second floor, which looks clear. So we'll go ahead and open this guy, then head on up. And we should be able to find some intel in here that will lead us to Miller. So let's take a look. And, oh, we also have a POW here. So let's take a closer look and see who this is. And it's actually our gameplay master, Jackie-tan, also known as Dan-kun in Japanese.
What's up, everybody?
And there he is. Cool. How you feeling? Not too good. All right, so we'll help Jackie in a minute, but we'll go ahead and pick up these documents first. So we'll use our iDroid, scan these in. And grab the data.
So you picked up an intel file.
Updated.
Now we know where Miller is. I'm marking it on your iDroid.
Okay, so we have the intel. All we got to do now is get Jackie out of here. And that's not working. If you look at the Fulton icon, you'll actually notice it's at 0% right now, which means we can't use it indoors. So let's go ahead and carry him outside. And now we should be okay. And there he goes. All right, so we have our intel, and we have Jackie off to safety. Now all we gotta do is escape from the base, and we are done. That said, we're spotted, so we're gonna fight our way out. But don't worry, even in this situation, Mother Base can once again provide support. So we'll go ahead and call them up, place an order to a support unit, and call in an airstrike. So we'll go ahead and set the target here, and this should help to clean things up quite nicely. We'll also call in a helicopter so that we can escape.
Please select a landing zone. Landing zone confirmed.
All right, now all we need to do is run and get out of here as quickly as we can, because obviously we don't want to be here when the bombs start dropping, or we'll be caught in the blast. So we're not going to bother with stealth at this point. It's all about escape. And we see a vehicle here, which should help us do that. So we'll go ahead and hijack it.
Support fire incoming. Please remain clear of the strike zone.
All right, the strike is incoming. We'll hurry here. Let's take a look and see if we can see the explosions. There we are. Nice.
This is Morpho, arriving shortly at LZ.
And Morpho's incoming, so we'll just tear over the LZ.
This is Morpho. Have arrived at LZ. We'll stand by.
All right, and now we've made it safely onto Morpho. That said, in the Phantom Pain, you're never truly safe until you escape from enemy territory, and that does include enemy airspace, so we'll keep an eye open here as we make our escape. All right, we see some enemy reinforcements coming in below. And smoke from our airstrike. But it looks like we're in the clear. So that's mission complete. And we'll see how we did. S rank. So good job, Jackie. Let's give him a hand.